against a Des Kitchens-led Furman squad?
Oh yeah, I thought he had. I mean, he did. He had an opportunity for that job, and I think it was his job to turn down, and decided that he wanted to be here with us. And his family loves Raleigh, but he did have an opportunity. You know, obviously because he played there, but because he's done a great job.
When you got hired, he's the one guy that you were able to keep on from the previous staff, and I'm guessing that 3-week period you heard enough to know that he was worth keeping.
Yeah, and they had a lot of good coaches on their staff. So, I mean, it wasn't a matter of was he better than other guys. It's just I knew I was bringing some guys with me that had, you know, position groups like Coach Nielsen. I knew I wasn't going to be looking for a D-line coach. So there were some guys when I got here that it wasn't really even a conversation. And some of the guys got promoted to stay, you know, where I was. So there, I was definitely trying to find, you know, a couple people that would fit. And he does a great job with recruiting, as you guys know. Had been here, and you know his background, just the different places and areas that he's been in recruiting, and just hadn't gone to NIU 2 years prior. I kept a coach there named Tom Matukowicz, and that really helped me in that transition. So I wanted to have one guy at least that could kind of teach me what our campus is and what official visit weekends. I mean, there's a lot that goes into being new at a school, and not knowing who you should call or what restaurants have been good or who are the people that will look out for you and people that may not. You know, it's nice to have somebody that's been through it before.
Any update on Mike Stevens?
Yeah, Mike practiced yesterday and the day before, and then he did everything today against the scout team just so we could get him more reps. Feels very confident. The type of offense we're playing, I'm not going to play him, you know, in the game unless we end up in a situation where there's airing it out. But, you know, for Mike, we don't want to bring him back too early. I mean, he's 100% right now, and I think the biggest thing when you go through an injury is making sure, from a coaching standpoint, that we bring him back when we're completely confident. You know, and I want to see him have to go through more things. But he'll go through warm-ups, and he'll be ready, and if we need him on third down or in 2-minute situations, or, you know, if we have a lead and it turns into a passing day, then Mike would be ready to play.
So we'll see McLeod and Alston at the corner spots again.
Yep, you'll see those two guys. James Valdez did tear his ACL and he's out for the year, and so it's a bad deal for him. And you know he'll go through the rehab process now. Chris Ingram and Bryce Banks are our two backup corners until Mike is back in the fold. And those, you know, Nick Lacey, those will be our 6 guys for the rest of the year. Light some candles and do all those types of things. Can't afford to lose another one.
Injuries have affected maybe who you would want to play or redshirt and different things like that, but are you at that point now where it's like now or never with some of the younger kids, or you know that?
There were 5 guys in camp that kind of jumped out to us, and you know we made a decision to talk to them about 2 weeks prior to the first game about playing, and they were all for it. And so those are the guys you see out there. I mean, we wouldn't pull another guy out unless we had to. But Chris Ingram from day one, you know, showed up and did good things in camp. So did Raven. So did Lewis. Josh Fed Jackson and Mecca Measy, those are the 5, you know, that we've decided to play, and it wasn't because of injury, it was because of how they were playing in camp.
Offensively, you guys got off this list starting last week. How have you guys addressed that and getting maybe a better start?
Oh, we've talked about starting fast. Obviously, that's something, if you look at the first 2 games, we want to be able to play better in the first quarter. We've played really well in the second and fourth, and played okay in the third. The first quarter's hurt us, so you know the kickoff coverage in the first game obviously hurt us there, and offensively Ryan just missed some throws. I mean, we were doing a good job in a lot of ways, and once he got in a rhythm, so we just got to get him in a rhythm early, and things will click.
So Will's back, and
yes, and
we'll start.
And Tyrone's the left guard.
Any other roster changes, shakeups, missing bodies?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. Let me ask you.
Not today.
Let me ask you an NCAA type question. Do you think the athletes deserve more of a share of the revenue than what they're getting?
I think that's out of my pay grade.
But you're involved in it, though. You're involved in.
You know, there's so much.
Sports.
There's so much that goes into all that. I don't even know fiscally how some schools could do it. I think you'd have a lot of teams that aren't existing anymore. There's a lot of teams that barely can make their budget now, you know, so I think that would be hard on, probably be good for some schools, and it would decimate others, you know.
Would you be against players, like the Olympic model, being able to, like if they wanted to wear a Nike shoe or a Under Armour
No, I mean,
wristband,
these guys
those
are
schools are
amateur
willing to pay
athletes,
them.
you know, they're amateur athletes, and when you come to college, you're playing for a school that has a shoe contract, and that's what you know. I mean, that's, when you become a pro, you get that option, you know, but these guys are still amateurs, and they do get a lot of great benefits. I mean, speaking from a guy that had to pay for school, they get school paid for, they get unlimited food, they get a ton of gear, and we go to a bowl game, they get a ton of stuff. So there's a lot of good things that they're getting still. Do they generate revenue for schools? Yes, they do. Football and basketball teams do that, but you know, it's still college amateur athletics, in my opinion.
What's the key to defending against the triple option?
Discipline, eye control, block protection, beating certain types of blocks in perimeter and in spaces where they can cut you, and obviously tackling. I mean, they're going to have a lot of plays where the quarterback's a runner, and you're not going to have unblocked players all the time. You're going to have to beat blocks to get people to the football.
How much does that change what you do defensively? Is it just focusing on the fundamentals more, or is it anything schematic you really have to do different?
Well, you try to look at other plays that you've defended already and put them in same-as boxes for the guys. So, hey, this is just like when you see this. I mean, the good thing, our offense does run triple option concepts. Our first play of the game last week was a triple option that went for 40-some yards when Ryan kept it. So it's not like we haven't seen that. We saw it all through camp. And the jets that they do, we do a lot of that in our offense. So there are similarities. Some of the blocking